So this is sort of strange poetry by Kharms. But Kharms is, as I'm sure many of you know, much better known in Russia among children for his children's poetry, which is less strange and has more of a bounce. And I've translated some of it for American children, and if I may, I would like to read. So he has a poem called Ivan Ivanich Samovar, about a samovar, which I translated into English as Mr. Russian Samovar, trying to capture some of Kharms's rhythms. So here it goes, for children now. Have you ever seen a Sam? Have you ever seen an O? Have you ever seen a var? Have you ever seen a Russian samovar? Mr. Samovar was stately. Mr. Samovar was plump. Not just chubby, not just tubby, not just fat, but stately plump. Boiling water was inside. Splish and splashing was inside. Swish and swooshing was inside. All a huffin' and a puffin', all a puffin' and a huffin'. Boiling water coming out through the spout.
Yeah.
Bright and early in the morning, Uncle Petya came downstairs. Bright and early, Uncle Petya came downstairs. I could use a cup of tea. Yes, I could, said Uncle Petya. Yes, indeed, said Uncle Petya. I could use a cup of tea. After him came Auntie Katya. Auntie Katya with her cup, with her beautiful, her precious, her exquisite little cup. As for me, said Auntie Katya, to be sure, said Auntie Katya. If you please, said Auntie Katya, I require a cup of tea. In walked Grandpa in his slippers. In walked Grandma with her cane. In walked Grandpa, in walked Grandma with their slippers and their cane. Personally, Grandpa said, what I really want is tea. What I really want is tea. I could also, Grandma said, drink a little. Grandma said, tea for breakfast. Grandma said, may I have a cup of tea? In ran Anya, dressed in red. Good morning, everyone, she said. Here I am. Give me tea. Make it extra sweet for me. Then came Moskowitz, the cat, purry, furry, soft as silk. For a little, boiling water with his milk. Do you know what happened next? Boris finally arrived. Yawning, he arrived. Stretching, he arrived. Very sleepy, he arrived. Boris rubbed his eyes and said, oh, let me have a cup of tea. Let me have a cup of tea. Everybody tipped the samovar. Tip, tip, tip. But the only thing they got was a tiny drip, drip, drip. Mr. Russian Samovar, Mr. Golden Samovar, Mr. Empty Samovar, Mr. Samovar has nothing for a lazy, lazy bones. Mr. Samovar has nothing for a sleepy, sleepy head. Not a drip, drip, not a drop, drop for a sleepy, sleepy head.